Hey guys, I just wanted to give you an overview of the patches and parts for No Other Name by Hillsong Worship. I'm going to be doing this in the original recording key, which is in the key of G, and it is 74 beats per minute. There's a few different patches that we're going to be using. The first one is what they call on the record a piano, but it's really a combination of a piano and a Rhodes with some shimmer reverb. The next one that we'll be using is that same piano patch but with an organ. And I will mention at this time that the organ, the next pad I'm going to play, and the lead line all require Omnisphere. So there's that organ, and the organ actually stops right there at that B, because you don't need to play any lower than that. Below that is actually the pad that we use during the chorus, just a big pad in Omnisphere. If you'd like, you can attach a filter to that. I have just an auto filter on that patch, so I can darken it up a little bit if I want. So not a ton, but at least make it a little bit darker. And then the last patch that we have is actually the lead line. Alright, so let's go back to the very beginning here. The intro and the first half of the first verse before the band comes in is just that piano, and it's really just the one part. When the band comes in halfway through the first verse, it brings in the organ, and so I just want to play that for you very quickly so that you can see the actual parts to play and when to bring that organ in order to get through the first part of that song. So, starting from the very beginning with just the piano, you come in with the guitar. And the verse starts. What a name. His fame boundless. And right here the organ comes in. Go into the chorus. Anyway, a couple notes from that. First, you'll notice that in a couple places, that line doesn't follow the melody exactly, especially those little tags. The King above all kings. So just pay attention there to what you're playing. It's not bad that it's not following the melody. It's just the part. And it actually sounds good kind of clashing against one another. So the organ ends up underneath the piano as well, because the piano stops and just goes to organ below this G. So you don't want to have your foot on the sustain for this. Otherwise you'll be sustaining the organ and the piano, and it'll get really muddy. So that whole verse part I was playing without the sustain at all. There's enough reverb and delay on things that you can get away with it. But yeah, just avoid using the sustain there. So then you go through the chorus. The chorus chords are just the simple ones that are listed. G, E minor, G over B, C, E minor, C, and then it repeats again. One thing to notice when you're coming out of the first chorus and going back into the second verse, you're jumping up to the piano and organ while you're still holding that pad. So, there is no other name, there is no other name, Jesus Christ our God. Oh, find hope when oh. So that find is on beat 4 or the and of 4, depending on how you're counting at that point. On beat 4, that hits, and then you'll let go of the sustain on hope. So find hope. So then there's another verse there, and you're on the organ and piano that whole second verse. And then there's another chorus that you go through. After that chorus, you'll be jumping again. Jesus Christ our God, oh, Jesus. So, this part is interesting. It's two different parts technically, just they vary just a little bit between the instrumental portion and the portion where the vocals are in. So during the instrumental, you're just doing this up and down. During the vocal part, each fourth run changes. So when the vocals come in, the earth will shake and tremble before Him. Chains will break and heaven sing. So each fourth time you're going up to the C. So just keep in mind that it varies back and forth there, and be aware of which part you're playing where, and that'll go all the way through the whole bridge part until you get back to the chorus, and then you're back on the pad. So that's it. The piano part, the piano and the organ, the pad, which is split on that same patch, and then lastly you have the lead line, and that is No Other Name.